Cochlea. A house built entirely of air. Currents cut in from outside. They find nooks and crannies and those sliced cracks that stand up inside the self and rush in like a family of hungry blue ghosts, empty and insubstantial and full of memory. Air, vibrating, hushing, rustling, making bones out of nothing. Skin and muscle searching a home lattice their way into form. They grow from outside in, pushing the architecture of air back out, viciously brittle, brutal, strident. Silently, the once proud ghosts file out, icing the breath on the glass, plaiting the manes of horses and pulling down the human pylons that invade the sky. Tiring quickly of their own angry and bitter dances, they huddle together in secret and crawl across the vectors of a life. With their knot tongues, they whisper and lick the fur off the humans, the ones who crowned themselves kings of space, until like skinned creatures, newly learning to stand on two, flesh, bone, air and ghost roll together into a paste to invent cities, trains, circuits of mirrors. They become live, twitching and switching from sea to land to sky. They become corridors, libraries and heartaches, all manner of a contemporary life. Now air, at the same time separate and inseparable, enters through the ear, into the cold, dank bracken of the skull and all its cluttering passageways. The ghosts speak, banging the drum of war, and man, the man who lives on top of women, of birds, children and foxes, fancies himself the arbitrator of all things. He claims memory and calls it knowledge. He forgets the nothing that made him and places his tongue over it, believing that he kisses rather than claims the not with language. Man prefers the ground. He will crawl belly downwards towards his own inevitable night, becoming the fate he evades. He will speak it into 1,000 languages that one by one dance, flicker, and become endangered, like so many species who are rubbed out. Then he fumbles to collect up these flaking memoirs and builds a machine to turn them into polythene bags, precious carriers of brightly coloured objects, broken limbs, and the ash that falls down from so many stars. A heaping, heaving they, becoming land itself, a glittering junkyard of incunables, mountains of words giving birth to material children who, holding hands, scale the plastic mountains to stare at the marvel of the sun and feel the insubstantial wind whisper in the fibres of their hair, lifting them up and away from the ground.